What is going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes checking in here. We always bring the best fighters to Junkie Radio. Today we get to talk to Jasmine Jasudavicius, who you can pronounce her name in many ways, and she doesn't take offense. So we might have some fun with it here on the show. Ain't that right, JJ? Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. You're just a few weeks away from fighting in your home country on a card with a lot of Canadians. Quality main event. I love them flyweights, Albazi and Marino. The co-main event is solid, and it's in your weight class. So this has got to be a really, really fun camp for you because there's so many things that are going to obviously, be a part of your journey, your impact on the division, fighting in front of your home fans. Pretty cool.
Yeah, super cool. Not only that, but we have like Mike Malott and Siri on the card as well. So we're all training together, and it's going to be great to get out to Edmonton.
When you get up there, do you all do everything together? Like, do you have different ways of losing weight, or is it all saunas, or is it in the bath? Like, where do you start to kind of float into different ways in your fight week preparation?
I'll do the bath. I don't know about like other, but I found like the bath works for me, and but I don't have like too much weight to cut, so it's like pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I brought up Nama Yunus and Blanchfield. Now, obviously, you have your fight first. Ariane Lipsky's your opponent. She's been around for a while. You've been around for a while. You've won 4 of your last 5, so you're on what we call a nice run, a nice roll here. And at the top of the division, you have 2 ladies that are, they've been close to a title shot, and they've come up just short, right? So again, big spotlight. But is your goal, without saying it, I guess some fighters don't like to look ahead, but is your goal almost win and maybe call one of them out? Like, are you kind of like a forward thinker like that, or do you just compartmentalize opponent by opponent?
I compartmentalize. That being said, I'm always thinking like trying to get to that #1 spot and doing everything that I can to make that possible.
How many steps away do you think you are from fighting for a gold belt one day?
I'm not too sure. Like, I know my skill set's there, but just the opportunities, got to wait for them to line up. So hopefully soon.
You're 35 years of age, but you keep yourself in excellent shape. And like you said, it appears the weight cut isn't really as difficult or strenuous on you as it may be on others. But do you feel like, with what I mentioned earlier, you've won 4 of your last 5, you have an opportunity to maybe be on the same timeline as one of these other gals? Is this kind of like your run, your chance for the title? Are you at least seeing it in that fashion?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like this is my time. I understand my window is short. I'm older. I know I'm not gonna have a long career, a 10-year, 20-year career in the UFC, and so I know my window's short, and I'm here to like make the best of it.
How do you make sure that you leave it all out there on the cage? And here's what I mean. The other day we saw Raquel Pennington against Juliana Pena. And then we interviewed Raquel afterwards. But really, the whole fight came down to round 1. And in round 1, sometimes you're thinking, well, save enough energy for round 3, or I'm just getting going. You know what I'm saying? But really, every second's important of the fight, especially maybe even if you can get that early 10-9, apart from getting the finish. So how do you make sure you're zeroed in and dialed in, and you don't kind of make that same type of mistake?
I think, like, firstly, it's the preparation, and thankful to Perfect Sports, and they keep me like my body in shape, so I am able to get through the practices and recover, and consistency, like doing it every day, and then just like showing up on fight day, and hoping for the best.
You saw that. That's right. Yeah, Perfect Sports. That's nice that you brought them up. I saw that you're an altered what is the Jacked Apple Altered State fan, right? The pre-workout getting you going.
Gets you going, and it's before sparring. You got to get a little bit of pre-workout in you.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Canadian-based company, and they're back in their Canadian fighters. So that's very, very cool that you brought them up. All right, goes. What do you have for our guest here, Jasmine? No, Jazz. We said we'd switch it up.
Yeah, I love it.
I just wanted to ask about your opponent in general. When you first heard the name, to the moment you felt like maybe after looking at video and all that and just kind of solved the puzzle of what it was you wanted to do against her, how long did all that take place? And, you know, what were some of the things that you saw that you feel like you can apply to this fight?
So I let my coaches do all that, in all honesty. Like, I just watch the fights and, like, you know, make my own little data that I do, my bro science in my mind. But honestly, I trust my coaching staff so much that I just let them make the plan, and I'm like their little video game. They just tell me what to do and how to train, and yeah, like it's kind of them, not really me.
How important is it the first time that you guys come face to face in fight week? You know, or there's some fighters that say they love to kind of look at their opponent, size them up, see what their reactions are. And not just that, as George mentioned, there's other girls in your weight class that are going to be walking around. How important are those interactions for you?
I mean, I don't really think of them too much because I got the fight coming up. So I don't really like recognize them very much. But yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes you think about it.
Are you glad that there's like a little bit more order in your division now, restored at the top? And when you picture yourself fighting for a title, does it matter who it is against? Is there anybody in particular that you've always wanted to face in that moment, or is a title shot a title shot?
Like a title shot's a title shot, but also like any loss that I've ever had, I would obviously love to avenge that. So if one of them ever owned a title, then I would love to take it from them, would be kind of the dream. But other than that, whoever's got the title, that's who I want to get matched up with.
I know that Calgary and Toronto aren't close, right? But it is Canada. The UFC doesn't always go to Canada. Are you going to have a lot of family, friends, teammates going to Calgary for this event?
So there's like a pretty solid group, more people than I really expected that would go to Edmonton in November.
Right. Edmonton, yeah, sorry.
No problem. But yeah, more people than I expected. But luckily the flights aren't too expensive from here. So I had a solid group that's gonna be coming with me.
As soon as I said Calgary, I was like, that doesn't seem right, because I knew I had read it differently earlier. It is in Edmonton, folks, and the fight is coming up pretty soon. Like Jasmine said, it's Saturday, November 2nd. Brandon Moreno versus Amir Albazi. Albazi comes back after a bunch of surgeries and troubles with his neck, and so that one, lots there at stake in the flyweight division, and lots at stake in the flyweight division with the ladies as well. Aaron Blanchfield against Rose Namajunas. So that's a nice 1-2 at the top, but they've sprinkled in a lot of great fighters, a lot of popular fighters from Canada, as well as just challenging them. Even Derek Lewis is on the card. Mike Malot's on the card. Our guest here, Jasmine Jasudavicius, is also on the card. She faces Ariane Lipski. You know, Ariane Lipski's 3 times she's been finished in the UFC via ground and pound punches, you know? So I know that the coaches dial things up and you're the video game that they play, but is that kind of like the idea, is to kind of go after that chin a little bit, test that chin where she's succumbed a few times?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely I finished the one girl, and like I had the most significant strikes on like ground and pound. So of course I understand that that's a strength of mine, but we'll see what options present themselves fight night.
Mm-hmm. And the flip side is, some of her nice wins have been submission finishes. So how much of the game plan has been just you working those positions where she's been successful in fights, especially in the UFC? She had a knee bar, for example, an arm bar. Like, would you guys isolate those types of positions and make you work out of that, or are you more focused on just being offensive and not even getting to those spots?
No, we definitely, like, we'd be stupid to not work the defense, but yeah, you focus on your strengths and you focus on your weaknesses, both offensively and defensively. But you're preparing for everything, coming into the fight for sure.
Mm-hmm. And do you think Canada is ready to make a comeback? And here's what I mean by that. Years ago, there was, I'm going to go old school here. David Loazo, I believe was his name. And then Patrick O'Tay. And then they brought along the great GSP. He followed soon after. And then Roy McDonald, training partner. And the famous TriStar Gym. And then we also had the kids from not the kids, obviously, the men from I don't know if you remember Sean Tompkins. They had a group there in Ontario as well, and they had Sam Stout and Chris Wardesky, right? And then for a while things got a little quiet, but now obviously there are more Canadian fighters. Do you feel like you're part of another wave that's coming and maybe could make a big splash on November 2nd?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I can see like martial arts growing just around. Like there's so many more people in the gym now than there was even a year ago. Like it's growing exponentially, and yeah, like I understand that I'm like, one of the people kind of putting themselves out there and in front of everyone, like presenting martial arts. So I am like grateful that people can get inspired, and I can be part of the growth of martial arts, because I think it's like a wonderful journey, and everyone should at least try martial arts for a little bit, regardless if they fight or not. But yeah, I think it's so good that it's growing, and it's growing exponentially in Canada for sure.
Do you do predictions, JJ?
I mean, I can. I'm always suck. I suck at it because I'm in the gym so much. I watch the fights in the evening, like on Saturday nights. But it's like I don't remember each person, what they're good at. What that I know my weight class. Like so I really actually suck at it. But let's have fun.
How do you plan on beating Ariane Lipsky? What have you envisioned?
Oh, I can't let you know that. It's gonna be a secret. You'll see.
Well, it could always be a smoke screen too, right? She might see it and go, "Oh, she's coming for the head kick," and then in reality, you're really gonna knee bar her, or you know what I mean? Like,
you never know.
Secret? Okay. All right. How about this? Give us a prediction for Max Holloway against Ilia Topuria. I'm sure you've heard of those guys.
Yeah. My heart wants to say Max, but I think that Topuria is gonna win.
How about Rose and Blanchfield?
I think that Rose is gonna win.
Nice. All right. I want to ask you one last corny question on the way out. Do you go to hockey games?
Occasionally.
When you've been, and a lot of them are the same when they take off the gloves and they start sizing each other up, and there's ways of grabbing the jersey. Some guys like the uppercuts, some guys like to tangle you up and hit you in the back, right here on the side. As you're watching, have you ever thought to yourself, there's a few things they could be doing better, some of these guys, just because obviously you guys have all the techniques down?
Oh, definitely. I did like this content thing with this one hockey player, and he was like one of the fighters, and we were like trading tips and tricks, like, oh, this is what I do here, this is what I do here. It's like so much fun. Yeah, but it's a different sport. It's just fun to watch.
Did you do it on skates or no skates when you did it with the hockey?
No skates.
You think
he came to the gym.
You're not ice skate probably, right? Or no? I don't want to assume.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it tough? Do you think it would be tough to fight on ice skates, or what? What do you, like? Should we give him a pass? Because sometimes it looks terrible, honestly.
Yeah. Give him a pass.
Give him a pass. Did he learn anything from you when you did the session?
I don't know. I hope so.
Did you learn anything from him?
yeah, that there was technique in it. I thought they were just trying to hammer each other. Like, I didn't know that there actually was technique.
Do you guys get mad in Canada when an American team wins, especially a team like the Vegas Golden Knights? That's where we're at. We're in a desert, for crying out loud. A desert team won a an ice hockey based sport. Hopefully you guys didn't get jealous up there in the Great White North.
Oh, of course, man. It feels dishonorable that that we didn't hold our own. Like, it's winter more time than it's not.
Yeah,
that's true. All right. Well, you're a good sport. It's been fun meeting you. And I wish you the best with the rest of your camp. There's not much left, but there's still some camp left. So no injuries, obviously, a safe weight cut, and then go out there and have fun against Ariane Lipski. I mean, obviously, it's a fight, so you got to get down, right? It's going to be violent, but you got to have fun when you're doing your job. And at the same time, don't forget, big spotlight on the flyweight division with that other fight. Hopefully you can get in that mix, because I think you're on a good run right now, and that might yield you some big fights in 2025, so that you can keep this trajectory going towards the top.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was great chatting.
You too. Bye, Jasmine.